So a couple things. We are going to do another paragraph in our book. Today I am going to be getting the first book signed called The Secret Government. And what I want you guys to look up is quantum gravity. We're going to read just a little bit on that. With this new data, we are witnessing a coming revolution in science that will propel our world into the next phase of our evolution. For example, the concept of a universe is also being replaced by the reality of multi-universes. According to the latest discoveries in quantum gravity theory and M theory, our universe is one of many universes. Well, by applying the new physics, I wanted to call it psychics, well, by applying the new physics and its concept of the coexisting planes to a higher level, then we begin to understand how many universes are also intersecting one another, as they are all contained within the same space. That's the second paragraph on page 7. And I also seen a glimpse on the news while the birdie was watching TV that Doctor Who is going to be in Disneyland, and they're talking a lot about multi-universes, multi-dimensions. Even the cartoons that he was watching were talking about spaceships, aliens. I think it was called Pink Pixel. I just leave the TV on, usually on PBS or the news, Channel 7, and the animals can watch it, the bird, the cat. But everything is getting to be spacey when I'm catching it out of the corner of my eye. So this is good. The Pink Pixel, I think it was called. So the secret government, I have my dress on from Isabel. I wanted to thank her. She gave me this dress. I just added a scarf or two. And I'm going to wear that today, and I'll send you this video. Isabella, thank you. And then in Astro, they wanted me to tell you. Last night we were talking a lot about what do we do when we re-encounter the old timeline? Because we're still here, right? And we're on multiple timelines at one time. So I'll give you the example I had that they shared with me. I was at a beach and I thought somebody stole my $144 out of my purse. Because when I looked in my wallet, I had it laying in the sand on my purse. It wasn't there. So I assumed that the people in front of me on their towel took it. And the universe said, well, they need it worse than you. Just let them have it. Don't say nothing. It's not important. Okay, so I passed that test, went back to my wallet, and there it was. So then I took my purse and I walked over to the thrift store at the beach. There was a thrift store with lots of plaques on the wall. And I saw 3 of them that I had donated on the wall. And I was going to buy them. So I took them down, and the universe said, no, even though it's a good idea because you're giving the money back to the thrift store, it would be like $100 for all 3. And that's great, but you're taking back your old energy. So leave the plaques on the wall and get new plaques if that's what you want. But the moral of the story is everything that is old energy we're supposed to get rid of. Like, if you want something new, then just go get something new. We have to be breaking these generational curses, these karmic assignments, and you don't realize it. You don't realize that that lamp that's been in your household for 100 years, and those photo books and those plaques and those statues all contain a lot of energy. So get rid of everything and stay on your new timeline. So we had a big discussion on how do you live in this world, but wear it as a loose garment and don't take back an old timeline. So you hear a lot about don't take back old friends, family members, boyfriends. I'm not saying that this stuff is easy. I see the sun shining through here, my heart chakra. This stuff ain't easy. It's not easy to say, I'm not going to talk to my family because they're toxic, and then they come back and invite you to things. None of this is easy. Old boyfriends call and want to get back with you. All I can stress is that's why we're having these classes in Astro. And if you'd like to be a part of them, simply before you go to bed, ask your higher self, just like you did with the Akashic Records assignment and the soul contract assignment. Just ask to come to one of my classes in Astro that talks about living in this timeline, but being on a higher timeline. Okay, living in different dimensions and not taking on past energy. I think it's funny because you're hearing people offer classes, like Ishmael Perez has a big sale this weekend on his classes, right? Because he loves to teach. And I do too, but I'm limiting mine to Astro and my personal readings and my readings. I also put some new information in my description box, so if you want to click on that, you can look at that. I've updated it. Now, with me talking for 7 minutes, I just want to thank you for listening to all that jazz. And we're going to get right into the cards. We're going to pull from the big Divinely Guided Tarot deck for right now. Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you, I woke up this morning a little later because I'm going to be out late tonight. So I put on some Rush. I was listening to Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta, and what was the other one? All the World's a Stage. But what awesome songs, right? I mean, they were telling us all this stuff way back in the 80s, and we just had to play out the next. I mean, I remember listening to it and saying, I know that that's my future. I know it is. But today, I'm getting the hell beat out of me at 16 years old by the devil. You know, this sucks, man. Just had a baby. Oh, I mean, it was like one of the worst times in my life when I got introduced to Rush, but it gave me a sense of got to get through this, got to get through this. The future is so cool. Those, I don't care if they're evil people and sold their soul to the contracts and whatever the people did that are in these bands, it doesn't matter to me. I pray for them, but I'm saying that the music is just so awesome. And that's what got me through. You know, music gets me through because I knew that there was a future. I knew 2112 and all the World's a Stage. I knew Rush wasn't full of shit. And not many people liked him, but I loved him. And they got me through it. And listening to it today, I'm like, wow, we're actually living it, you know? I'm on a spaceship every night and I come back and I'm teaching about this stuff now. And oh, it's just, I'm really excited. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice or see it in my eyes, but I am just on fire because I've shifted to this next timeline. Book of Life in reverse. Book of Life in reverse. So the Book of Life is something that I was talking about that we had a class on with soul contracts, that you can go in and change your soul contract. Like my mission partner didn't live up to his soul contract, so I can rewrite another mission partner in there. Okay, so I did. All right, and that Book of Life is upside down because in this energy we have the ability to be that artist Like this is a plain wall right now, right? I can put anything up there I want. Those 3 plaques that I was going to buy though, no, because it's old energy. So I can buy 3 new plaques and put them up here, but I'm not going to because I'm liquidating and I don't know if I'm staying here. So I'm going to leave the wall just the way it is. But you understand what I'm saying. I have a clean slate. I'm on a timeline right now that has the book of life in reverse because I can do whatever I want. It is such a cool timeline. So I want you all to really focus on being there. And a lot of you are there with me, and that's why you're on here watching right now. Soul Sister, you're one of them. Okay, in reverse, we have narcissism, right? We overlord energy and playboys. No more. Bye bye. You can't come on my timeline. And it's the truth. And I don't know if you heard what I just said. You can't come on my timeline. Shapeshifter energy. Can't do it. It can't do it. You can't come on my timeline. Dance like nobody is watching. In reverse though, okay? They're not dancing. See, I'm excited. I'm dancing. I'm doing new things. Why am I doing all these new things? Why do you hear this new vibrancy in me? Why do you even notice that I look different? I look different than my first videos, okay? I'm not the only one. Why is all this a new dress, a new scarf, right? Why is all this new stuff happening? Well, I wanted you to check out quantum gravity and the M theory. And then I also want you, before you go to bed tonight, to ask to come to my timeline class. Okay, they're still doing readings on you. They're still trying their spell work. They will be doing that to the day they go to their permanent timeline. If they're still around you in your energy on the same planet as you, they will continue to fuck with you. Bottom line. On our timeline, though, they're not welcome. So if you can stay high vibed and you can stay positive, it bounces right off you. It's like that girl on that card that was in the crystal ball. She's inside the crystal ball. You're protected. You're protected. And the whole universe and the spaceship, when they look, they can see everything that we're doing and they protect us. But you can't be on a low vibe. And you're not if you're watching this. But I'm just trying to explain to you that why are we so lucky? Why isn't everybody that's walking right now? Some lady just walked by the house with her doggie. Okay, if I was outside, I would have said hi. But why isn't everybody feeling like I'm feeling? And I keep saying that it's Peter Frampton that does Love is Alive, but I believe it's Gary Wright. Okay, so we have a divine opportunity. That's why, because we're the chosen few. We're the old souls. There's a lot of people still in the matrix, and that's what I keep trying to get you out of. That's why I say to leave your job. I'm not asking you to leave your job so that you can be broke and miserable and get kicked out of your house, okay? But I'm trying to explain to you that them things won't happen. They won't happen. If you can have the faith that the new timeline, the higher timelines are so cool, if you could only have that faith and do it, you would see. But it takes so much faith. I said that yesterday. It takes so much faith. You want to stay in the survival mode, okay? I've got some boxes here of survival stuff from my mission partner, and we carried it around with us in our RV. We carried it around with us everywhere we went, right? We were constantly in a survival mode. Not anymore. I just trust the universe. Oh, did I ever tell you what I woke up to this morning? I think I forgot to tell you. I woke up this morning a little later and there was a man shouting from a loudspeaker, like if he was in a spaceship. I could hear him. And he was screaming throughout the whole town. And I think he was screaming gospel, I think, but it was in Spanish. And I don't know Spanish. But it was wild. At first I thought, what's the spaceship doing? They're yelling at me. And then I was listening and it was in Spanish or in another tongue. And he was really loud because I think it was coming out from the mountain area, maybe 10 miles, 15 miles away. I don't know, but you could hear it all through the town. So I'll have to ask my neighbor Gary if he heard it. He might have been in Astro and didn't hear it physically down here. But I think he went on for 10, 15 minutes. But it just reminded me of what are the normal people going to do when that's coming from the spaceships, right? It's going to be kind of funny. Right now, I think most of them stayed in their house and pulled the covers over their head and said, oh, don't let anybody hurt me. I was out there and I was, doing my stray cat feeding. Another good group, stray cats, right? But I couldn't understand the language, but I think it was he was shouting the gospel. So monitoring spirits, okay? These spirits, like I was telling you earlier, they have no hold over you, okay? You are a target for them because of this high vibe and your mission. Well, of course, it's only obvious. I watched a movie the other day called Let's Be Cops, and they were two people impersonating as LAPD, right? And it's a comedy, and it was funny, and it was different than the Marvel movies, but a Marvel movie a day will keep the Matrix away. This was more of a comedy Matrix movie. But the funny part of it was, yeah, there's good and bad in everybody, and you're going to be a target. If you're a gangster, you're going to be targeting certain people. If you're a cop, you're going to be targeting certain cops. But I thought it was funny because the moral of the story was that everybody was in with the gangsters, from the mayor to all the cops. The only ones that weren't in it were the two impersonating the cop. And they ended up winning in the end and getting the bad guys, because that's always how it ends, right? It always ends when the good guy wins. But the good guys were the two normal guys dressing up as cops. Everybody else was corrupted. So we're going to pick a couple more and then I'll do a little bit of tarot. So use your divine intuition and definitely know that in your dreams, that's astro. Now I mentioned the crystal ball, and I mentioned a girl in the crystal ball being protected, and we can see everything that's happening from the spaceship, and it does look like we're in a crystal ball down here, okay? Well, you have the power to hold the crystal ball. You have the power to manifest this clean slate. And back to that is you have to use your divine intuition. That's what I'm living on right now. I'm no longer living on old energy, except for some things. Some of these pictures I still have, but I don't have to take them with me. When I leave, I can just do an estate sale and be gone, okay? So it's not like I'm holding on to this stuff. It's just that some stuff will go sooner than other stuff. Everything will be new. I keep putting in the comments, new, because that's the only words I can really come up with lately. It's like, that's all God's telling me. That's all the script says. New. And then we had that class last night saying, Don't take back any old energy. If somebody steals from you, let them have it, because we see everything. So don't play the game. Yes, if somebody steals something from you, let them have it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pull a couple from the tarot. We've got let's do the Rider-Waite. And at the bottom, randomly, is where you feel anxiety, the 9 of Swords. Okay, you feel an anxiety. Okay, well, that's got to go. Okay, that's got to go. I have no anxiety about nothing. Also wanted to mention, oh, you're getting so much information in this video. Oh, I'm just so pumped. St. Christopher, if you're ever worried about traveling, remember I told you you're going to have to step outside your box, and you may be afraid to drive at night. You may be afraid to drive on the interstate. I am not, but some of you may be, and that's why you don't go places. Well, guess what? St. Christopher is the saint and the angel that protects us traveling. So if you call on St. Christopher, he's got your back. Got to get over to fear. We have to replace fear with faith. And one more thing I wanted to shout out. Oh, there's so much. Alpha Spirit is a really good channel, and he's dressed up as the Joker. And I did not like the Joker movie. It was the worst movie I've ever seen, and I almost fell asleep during it at the movie theater. But I love the Joker. I love Alpha Spirit. I love Mr. Vin. He dresses up as a Joker. He's got it on his profile. I've got a whole playlist of Vinland's songs. I love the Joker in Batman. But the Joker is a bad guy, and Batman does get him every time. Just remember that. I am Batgirl and Catwoman all in one. But what was I saying? I got off track there. Oh yeah, fear is fuel. Alpha said that this morning. He said that my fear fuels me. And I love that. Fear fuels me. Okay, they want me to tell you that now on the bottom is the world. That's the mission. So that's why I just talked that whole time about leaving the 9 of Swords for your world mission. How do you do that? Fear should fuel you. So if you're having anxiety about going to that concert and being around a bunch of people and driving at night or staying overnight someplace, go through it. You got to go through it. Just do it. This new timeline is all about action. The last chapter was all about in Astro flashing the flashlight. I was in Astro more than I was here. Now they're having me here more than in Astro. Wow, huh? Yeah, last night they said, yeah, your time changed. You are no longer in Astro from 3 in the afternoon till 3 in the morning, approximately. Now you're going to be in Astro just for like a little bit, like from, let's just use an example, from 9 at night, 10 at night till 3 in the morning. You know, whatever. I'm just using that for an example. They're cutting it all down. See, time don't exist, so it's hard for me to explain it. But that's kind of an example of about 6 to 8 hours I got cut. I didn't get demoted. No, I got promoted. But I got a big assignment here. I got a big assignment in 4D. So I'm really moving forward on my world mission. So I explain all this stuff because they want me to. They want me to explain all this. So you'll have to take it how it resonates. But I don't like that word because everything resonates. It's just not everything relates. So meaning you You may be in astro a lot more than you're here, so don't be fearing sleep. We all are, like yesterday, we got the leader, we got the people in the middle of the bridge, and we got the people at the end. Okay, you're in different spots. Steve's Love Tarot likes to say, everybody is going at a different speed on the interstate. And I love that because just like today, I'm driving on the interstate today, right? Everybody's going to get there at different speeds and different times in different vehicles, but we're all going to be there at the exact same time for the presentation. You see? So the world mission is the world mission, but how we all get there and what we all do are different. And fueling that is the King of Pentacles. So you have everything you need. You don't have to worry. You're a stable leader. You're the King of Pentacles. And fueling that is if you stay in balance. And that makes perfect sense because if the King of Pentacles is stable and has everything he needs, well, he's pretty balanced and he better stay balanced. Because if he doesn't, he will fall. Top of the deck, we have the Seven of Wands. That's a victory card. You see how he's got that stick and he's going to put the last one in. He's going to put that last stick in. This is like the last hurrah. And 2025 is the year. It's a favorable outcome. 2025 is the year. And what is it the year of? It's the year of all this stuff you're hearing about. All the stuff you're hearing about. People keep asking, when is the solar flash? When is quantum? When is Nasara Gasara? I could go on with the when are these things happening? Medbeds, right? 2025 is the year. You come back in January, I don't even know if I'll be here in January of 2026. Meaning I don't know if I'll have a station. I don't know if I'll be in physical. I don't know if there'll even be YouTube. So stay in the moment. They just keeps yelling that. Stay in the moment, be high vibed, and start having some fun. You can hear how excited I am, and it's not just because I'm seeing Ishmael Perez today. No, he has a twin ray named Monica. Her birthday was yesterday, and I got to make sure to shout her out. So it's a favorable outcome. And what's a favorable outcome? The Seven of Swords, all the deception. That's what's favorable, is that finally fear being turned into fuel got you on your highest timeline. But remember, you're on that interstate, you're on the highest timeline because you're watching this video, right? You haven't unsubscribed yet, but we're at different speeds. And yesterday's analogy of the bridge, some have crossed over, some are still crossing, and some are trailing behind. It's okay. So we're putting an end to the Seven of Swords. And I'm going to leave it there. There was so much in here, so many things to do, so many things to watch, so many things to look up. And I even got you busy at night. So I got all kinds of stuff for you in this video. You'll want to rewind, rewatch, take notes, and please do your homework. I am Miss Mystic. Thank you for listening.